talk about a fine firearm.
Again, we're out here just having some fun. Remember, black powder. Scratch. You see these scratch marks right here?
Hey, Manny CA here. Man, today we got a treat for you guys. And I'm gonna tell you, this thing is a masterpiece. Our buddies over at Cimarron Arms, thanks Laura, sent us one of these T&E guns. Man, this is the 1875 Outlaw, courtesy of Uberti. Uberti manufactures all these in Italy. You know Italian guns are great because you're looking at Beretta, which owns Uberti, by the way. The oldest continual gun manufacturer in the world. Check that, the oldest continuing company in the world. Cimarron, you guys are familiar with them, and if you don't, why aren't you? Especially if you cowboy action shoot, or you like old guns like we do. I like to credit Cimarron with keeping the cowboy action sport alive. If it wasn't for Cimarron, every cowboy action movie today would be filled with people shooting 1873 single action armies and 1892s or 1894s. Regardless of the year the movie takes place, Cimarron actually brought to market period specific guns like this one. Heck, they supply a lot of movies. Lonesome Dove? Yeah, now that I got your attention. Open Range? And of course, everybody's favorite, well at least my favorite when it was on air, Hell on Wheels. Come on, that had more guns than anything. Let's face it, that was the only reason I watched it, was to see the guns. First season he carried that, what was it, Gunnarsson Griswold. It was kind of like a gun that didn't really exist anymore and they had to create it. That was cool. Not to mention, Cimarron was the first company to import Quigley's rifle. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Quigley Down Under. Their Sharps rifle, they were the first ones to bring those in. Man, it's taken me decades to get over not having one of those fine rifles. Cimarron has kept the sport alive by making sure that these guns got into shooters' hands. We're out here today, we're gonna take this guy out, we're gonna shoot it, because that's what you guys wanna see. Let's go through the numbers, which in my view is one of the most important aspects when evaluating revolver quality. Headspace was tight and well within spec. End shake was almost non-existent, which really isn't an issue when you have a gun that's considered low pressure, the 4440, which is what this gun was chambered in, also known as the Winchester 44 centerfire. It's a 44 caliber diameter bullet originally charged with 40 grains of black powder, hence the name 4440. Originally chambered for the proprietary 44 Remington, which was a heeled bullet, similar to how a .22 long rifle is seated. Remington offered the original in 4440 and .45 Colt to compete with the Colt's Single Action Army 1873. The cylinder throats on this model all measured at .429, which allows the hand loader the use of commercially available lead bullets. Another plus is that the .429 bullets work equally well with current 44 Special and 44 mag chamberings, so it's kind of like you get a threefer. We slugged our bore, then tested each cylinder which the slug dropped through. Excellent for bullet to bore accuracy. Cylinder to barrel gap was also well within spec at 3 thousandths with a well pronounced forcing cone, which seems to be cut at 11 degrees. I say seem because we experienced no leading or forcing cone buildup with the over 200 rounds we shot during and the preparation of this video. Fit and finish is excellent with well-fitted grips and an attractive 5-pound creep-free trigger pull, which we deem not to warrant any adjustment. Right out of the box, this revolver performed excellently and was ready to go to work. If you have any questions as to how we perform the aforementioned measurements, we highly encourage you to watch our Accurate Revolver playlist, in which we demonstrate how to get your gun's dimensions and what to look for in a used revolver. If you look closely, you can see how beautiful they put that color case hardening on there. Now, considering this gun is MSRP 550, 560, somewhere around there, that case bluing is what they call acid etched, because some houses charge you that 500 bucks just to send them the back strap and the actual frame itself to get the case hardening on there. So that Uberti and Cimarron are able to do this and bring it to us for a $500 gun, that's value. That's a lot of value. And then you guys know that's what our channel is all about, is bringing you guys value for the gun. And I have I think it's a Cimarron gun that Uberti had made, and it's about 20 years old. It's a 45 Colt. It's been shot hard, and the gun still has the case hardening on there. Sometimes they fade just a bit, but as long as you don't use anything harsh, any harsh chemicals on it, these will last forever. This gun, if anything, it's more beautiful than the one I have. Another thing you might have realized, I know a lot of you cowboy action purists have realized that, hey, the reproduction's got a cross bolt right here to hold the cylinder pin in place. Yeah, I know. I think what had happened was I had shot one of these, I think it was 10 or 15 years ago. It was an EMF reproduction, and I think they had the ones that had the original screw up front here, and what would happen is that screw kept getting knocked out from the recoil and the percussion, and the pin would end up coming forward. So one thing that Uberti did right, and I mean they did really right, was copy the Ruger and put this pin right here to ensure that the cylinder pin wasn't walking out. Some things, some modernizations are worth doing. Another thing I want to really bring to you is they've got this safety, I think it's a fire and pin safety that they put back here. Yeah, not digging that, but you know what? It's a product of the litigation era and the modern era, I guess. When you load that way, you could see we're loaded safely out from under the hammer. There is no load under that chamber. To unload, typical of a single action. Put the gun in the half cock, tip the gun up. I like to use my weak hand as support. Tip, index, pull it back, and eject. Tip. It's as simple as that, people. Well, you guys saw in one of our previous videos how we're talking about when you're carrying, some guys like to carry where they put the gun, they'll carry a full 6, but then they carry firing pin in between 2 loaded chambers, okay? And what that'll do is it kind of locks it in between the brass. But like I said, I don't like that because you can easily still, watch, let me show you. See how it indexed over and now you're free. So I don't like it. You're carrying under an empty chamber and say your clothing, you snag it on some clothing. But just wanted to demonstrate how single actions, the old style, without the transfer bar safety, you got to know how to carry, you got to know what you're carrying. So I know a lot of guys that carry single actions, but they shoot all the time. But that doesn't mean they're not going to have any incidences. And now you guys got me on fanning. We're going to go through and kind of demonstrate. I like to fan. I don't advise doing it. Hold the trigger down and then just I find that if you lock your side of your strong arm to your body right here and keep your wrist pointed, hold the trigger down when you do your 2 shots, you'll be in a pretty good vicinity of where you want to hit. Fanning is very hard on the internals of the gun. So if you see it happening on those Hollywood movies, it's Hollywood. What do you want? They don't live in the real world. A little better. Oh, you better believe it, it's fun. It's a waste of ammo. Most people who purchase one of these replicas, 1875, are going to be shooting this for cowboy action. Those same folks are going to be using it with black powder. Oh man, and we just happen to have loaded some black powder up right here. We're going to shoot with black powder, and if, and I say if, we have any issues, we've got our canister of ballistol. Now this is a 1/3 ballistol, 2/3 water, just to loosen it up. Ooh, and after we get done shooting, I've got soapy water here to drop our cases in, and the soapy water neutralizes whatever salts are produced in the firing. 40 grains of black powder. Let's see how it happens. Let's see how many rounds we can get down range before the gun stops turning. Never get tired of that black powder smoke. Oh, that is so cool. We're dirty, we're nasty, we're messy. But then again, it's black powder. You guys should know this already. Wow. Woo. Holy cow, I feel like a little kid in a candy store, man. That's awesome. After 25 rounds, it's getting tough and it's dirty. We're gonna spray a little ballistol on it, free it up, and we're gonna shoot the last of our 7 rounds here. Look at that. Come on. You can't tell me that's not satisfaction when you shoot and you see all that smoke and you hear the ring on steel. Bring some soap and water out to the range and you can just do that. I know everyone likes to complain about black powder and how it's dirty and messy and like yada 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 and all this other stuff, but all you gotta do is, you see what we're doing right here? No more black powder. You see how easy that is? I like to hit it with a little ballistol. This is the Poe tip of the day. Go down and get a bottle of Murphy oil soap. That's water soluble soap. You can use it just like ballistol. Spray down the gun, because remember, black powder gets everywhere. And you're gonna be back in business shooting in no time. Notice here on the 1875, they added a cylinder gas ring here. What this does, it deflects the powder coming back and it doesn't go into the gap here, mostly blows it out toward the face. Your 1858 Remington didn't have this, so that's why it would bind a lot easier. Now we're gonna continue shooting our smoke. Let's do this sucker. There's just not enough rounds, people. I wish they would make like a 30-shot revolver. Is this gun worth it? You better believe it's worth it. Let me show you something else. Look at that pile of brass that we shot. Look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it. And now, look at the cylinder line. Do you see a cylinder turn line on there? No. What does that tell you? That tells you that this gun is properly timed. Can you believe it? A gun that doesn't have the cylinder turn ring. Look, in the sun, no cylinder turn ring. And we were shooting it hard. You saw how we were doing it. Heck, we were fanning it. Who else fans a gun like this? Well, maybe me. For the value to price ratio, this thing is awesome. The fit, the finish. Look at the grips. Look at the case hardening on that. It is a work of art. Never, not once, did we have the cylinder pin come loose. Nothing. Stock spring that's with this. Of course, we're not shooting full house loads here, people. These are going about 800 to 900 feet per second. It's a 44 Winchester centerfire. It is what it is. It's a low pressure round for cowboy action shooting. That being said, the gun performed exceptionally well. For the price, come on, they got it right. You guys have any questions, comments, concerns? Send them on down. Till next time.